Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina asks army personnel to stay united and be prepared to defend country's constitution and sovereignty under any circumstances. Prime Minister urges private banks to supplement government's low-interest credit program for small traders affected by corona pandemic. BRTC to have 10% women drivers and conductors for women and school bus services, informs Obad Qadir. Haldibari Kilahati rail communication between Bangladesh and India to resume in December. Government's no mask, no service policy gains public support as government and private organizations to deny service to people not wearing masks. Bangladesh-India air travel resumes after 7-month suspension for corona. Europe sees 40% rise in daily corona contraction rate as world counts more than 7,000 deaths in a single day. And ace cricketer Shakib Al Hasan returning to game tomorrow after 1-year ICC ban. Assalamu alaikum. This is News at 10 on BTV, BTV World and BTV Chattogram Centre. I'm Annie Cambrine. Those were the highlights. Now the details. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has asked the army to gain greater strength to defend Bangladesh in case of any internal or external attack on the country, though the nation doesn't want war against any country. She said this while virtually raising flags of the 8 units and organizations of the Bangladesh Army from her official Ganobhavan residence in Dhaka today. A smartly turned out contingent of Bangladesh Army gave salute to Prime Minister through a spectacular parade. The Prime Minister directed members of Bangladesh Army to keep a constant vigil to face any internal and external threats for safeguarding the country's constitution and sovereignty. The Prime Minister called upon the Army personnel to perform their professional duties with keeping confidence in higher leadership, mutual trust, brotherhood and dutifulness, responsibility and above all maintaining discipline.
বাংলাদেশের উন্নয়নের কাজে যে কোনো দুর্যোগে দুর্বিপাকে আমাদের সশস্ত্র বাহিনী বিশাল ভূমিকা রেখে যাচ্ছে। তাই সেনাবাহিনীর সকল সদস্যকে আমার আন্তরিক ধন্যবাদ জানাই, বিশেষ করে করোনাকালীন সময়েও যেভাবে তারা মানুষের পাশে দাঁড়িয়েছেন। আমাদের সশস্ত্র বাহিনী জনগণের পাশে দাঁড়িয়ে তাদের সেবা করে বিশ্বের দৃষ্টান্ত স্থাপন করেছেন, বাংলাদেশের ভাবমূর্তি বিশ্বে উজ্জ্বল করেছেন। পবিত্র সংবিধান এবং দেশমাতৃকা সার্বভৌমত্ব রক্ষা করার জন্য আপনাদের ঐক্যবদ্ধ থেকে আভ্যন্তরীণ কিংবা বাহ্যিক যে কোনো ধরনের হুমকি মোকাবেলার জন্য সদা প্রস্তুত থাকতে হবে। আমাদের পররাষ্ট্রনীতি অত্যন্ত স্পষ্ট, যা জাতির পিতা দিয়ে গেছেন। সকলের সাথে বন্ধুত্ব, কারোর সাথে বৈরিতা নয়, কিন্তু যদি কখনো আমরা আক্রান্ত হই, যেটা মোকাবেলা করবার মতো শক্তি যেন আমরা অর্জন করতে পারি, সেভাবেই আমরা প্রস্তুতি নিয়ে রাখতে চাই এবং সেভাবে আমরা তৈরি থাকতে চাই।
Chief of Army Staff General Aziz Ahmed spoke at the function from the Sheikh Hasina cantonment at Lebukhali in Potuakhali. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has urged the private bank authorities to provide loans for the corona-affected small entrepreneurs so that they can sustain with their small businesses. The Prime Minister made the call while addressing leaders of Bangladesh Association of Banks BAB at her office in the capital today. Sheikh Hasina joined the event from Ganobhavan through video conferencing. The Prime Minister said her government has already taken necessary steps to provide loans at low interest for the corona-affected small business people. Sheikh Hasina also urged all to remain protected from the coronavirus in the wake of the second surge of the pandemic in different parts of the world. The Prime Minister also highlighted her government's various incentive packages and said financial assistance for various sectors help facing adverse impact of the corona pandemic, which in turn kept the economy of the country operative.
আমাদের প্রণোদনা প্যাকেজে আমরা যে সমস্ত সুযোগগুলি দিয়েছি তাতে অল্প সুদে আমরা বিভিন্ন ক্ষুদ্র ক্ষুদ্র ব্যবসায়ী তাদেরকেও আর্থিক সহায়তা দেওয়ার একটা পদক্ষেপ নিয়েছি। তবে এই ব্যাপারে আমি মনে করি যে আমাদের বেসরকারি ব্যাংকগুলিকে আরো একটু আন্তরিক হওয়া দরকার। সরকারিভাবে আমরা দিয়ে যাচ্ছি, কিন্তু বেসরকারি ব্যাংকগুলিও যদি এর দিকে এগিয়ে আসেন, শুরুটা হয়তো একটু সমস্যা হবে, পরবর্তীতে যখন ব্যবসা বাণিজ্যটা চালু করতে পারবে তখন বেসরকারি ব্যাংকগুলি কিন্তু লাভবান হবে, এতে কোনো সন্দেহ নাই। বাংলাদেশ নিজের পায়ে দাঁড়াবে, স্বাবলম্বী হবে, কারো কাছে ধার করে না, কারো কাছে হাত পেতে না। আমরা মর্যাদাশীল জাতি হিসেবে বিশ্বে সম্মান নিয়ে চলব।
At the event, Bangladesh Association of Banks, an organization of the private banks, donated 29,95,000 blankets to Prime Minister's Relief Fund. Prime Minister's Principal Secretary Dr. Muhammad Ahmed Kaikaus received the blankets on behalf of the Prime Minister. Outgoing Ambassador of the Philippines to Bangladesh, Vicente Vivenciot Bandilo, paid a farewell call on President Mohammad Abdul Hamid at Bongo Bhavan this afternoon. In a briefing, President's Press Secretary Mohammad John Labadil told that during the meeting, the outgoing Philippines envoy expressed gratitude to the President for extending cooperation in discharging his duties. Mentioning the excellent relations between Bangladesh and the Philippines, President Mohammad Abdul Hamid said the Philippines is one of the first countries to recognize Bangladesh after independence. The President also lauded the role of the Philippines in getting Bangladesh's membership in the United Nations. President Abdul Hamid thanked the Philippines government for its assistance in recovering the lost money from Bangladesh Bank and hoped that they would continue their cooperation in recovering the remaining lost funds. About Rohingyas issue, President Mohammad Abdul Hamid expressed hope that the Philippines government would mount pressure on Myanmar and also play a strong role in the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, for the repatriation of Rohingyas. President Mohammad Abdul Hamid thanked the outgoing ambassador of the Philippines for successful completion of his tenure in Bangladesh. President's Office Secretary Shamput Bora, Military Secretary Major General S.M. Shamimuzzaman, and Secretary attached to the President's Office Mohammad Wahidul Islam Khan were present. Newly elected member of the Parliament Ghazi Manurul Islam and Muhammad Anwarul Hussain Helal took oath today. Speaker Dr. Shirin Sharmin Chaudhry sworn them in the Parliament. Senior Secretary to the Parliament Secretariat Dr. Jafar Ahmed conducted the oath-taking function. Deputy Speaker Muhammad Fazlur Rabbi Bia, Chief Whip Nouri Alam Chaudhry, Whip Iqbalur Rahim, Mahbubara Begum Guinea and Abu Said Al Mahmud Shapun were present. Ghazi Manurul Islam elected from Dhaka Constitution 5, while Muhammad Anwarul Hussain Helal from Nagaon 6 in the by-election on October 17. Road Transport and Bridges Minister Obadul Qadir has said 100% women driver and helper will be engaged at the women and children bus service of BRTC. Obadul Qadir said this after inauguration of Gaptoli Training Center initiated by Bangladesh Road Transport Corporation this morning. He joined the inauguration program through video conference from his official residence in the capital. Obadul Qadir said the government wants to see BRTC as a people and service-friendly institution.
দেশে নারী গাড়ি চালকের চাহিদা দিন দিন বাড়ছে। বিআরটিসির মহিলা বাস সার্ভিস, স্কুল বাস সার্ভিসে আমরা শতভাগ নারী চালক ও সহকারীদের সম্পৃক্ত করতে পারি। আপনারা জানেন বেসরকারি সংস্থা ব্র্যাক নারী গাড়ি চালক তৈরির কাজ সবার আগে শুরু করেছে। বিআরটিসি চালক নিয়োগের ক্ষেত্রে নারী গাড়ি চালকদের নিয়োগ সহ অন্যান্য ক্ষেত্রে আমাদের এক্ষেত্রে পলিসি সাপোর্ট দিতে হবে। দেশে প্রতিটি পেশা, বিশেষ করে চ্যালেঞ্জিং পেশায় নারীদের সগৌরব অংশগ্রহণ রয়েছে। শেখ হাসিনা সরকার সমাজে প্রতিটি ক্ষেত্রে নারীদের সুযোগ অবারিত করতে চান।
In response to an allegation brought by Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir that government wants to keep BNP away from politics, Obadul Khader said, "It is not the government. BNP is becoming isolated day by day due to its ill politics." Targeting BNP leaders, he said, to see the past role of the Awami League as opposition, then it will be easier to identify their own failures.
যে ফখরুল সাহেব বলেছেন সরকার নাকি বিরাজনীতিকরণ করছে এবং বিএনপি কে রাজনীতি থেকে দূরে সরিয়ে রাখছে। করণের টার্গেট হয়েছিলেন। আমরা এদেশের মাটি ও মানুষের সঙ্গে মিশে আমরা রাজনীতি করি। আমরা ষড়যন্ত্রে বিশ্বাস করি না, আমরা ষড়যন্ত্রের টার্গেট হই। এটাই হচ্ছে আওয়ামী লীগের ইতিহাস। গণতন্ত্রের কথা বিএনপি মুখে বলে, কিন্তু নির্বাচনী প্রক্রিয়াকে ভয় পায়। নির্বাচনে অংশ নেওয়ার আগেই তারা হেরে যায়। বিএনপি নিজেদের ব্যর্থতা ঢাকতে চায়, ব্যর্থতা চাপা দিতে সরকারের উপর দৌড় চাপায়। তাদের রাজনৈতিক আত্মবিশ্বাস এখন প্রায় তলানিতে ঠেকেছে।
Lawmaker Aslamul Haq Roads and Highways Division Secretary Muhammad Nazir Islam and BRTC Chairman Ihsan Elahi were present at Gaptoli End. Government will procure 6 lakh tons of boiled rice, 2 lakh tons of paddy and 50,000 tons of unboiled rice from marginal farmers in the forthcoming almond season. A decision to this effect was adopted at a meeting of the Food Planning and Procurement online meeting today. Food Minister Shadhun Chandra Mojumdar, Agriculture Minister Dr. Muhammad Abdul Razak, Commerce Minister Tipu Munshi, Health Minister Zahid Malik, State Minister for Disaster Management and Relief Dr. Muhammad Inamur Rahman and concerned high officials were connected to the meeting through video conference. The meeting was informed that paddy at the rate of 26 taka per kilogram, boiled rice at 37 taka and unboiled rice at 36 taka will be procured from local markets. Secretary to the Ministry of Food, Muhammad Nazmun Ara Khanam, conducted the meeting. After the meeting, Food Minister Shadhun Chandra Mojumdar said paddy will be procured from November 7 to February 26, 2021, and boiled and unboiled rice from November 15 to February 28, 2021. It was informed that government has a stock of 10,81,000 tons of food grains available at its silos until now. The rail communication between Bangladesh and India on the Chilahati-Haldibari route is going to resume after a long time. Engine trial run on the route for already been completed. The route is expected to open to freight trains in December. While visiting the Railway Ministry in 2014, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina directed authorities concerned to resume train services on all closed routes of the country in phases alongside that of Bangladesh and India. There are 8 interchange points for railway links between Bangladesh and India. Of them, 4 are in operation at the moment. As part of making the rest 4 points operational, engine trial run in Chilahati has done yesterday. The Indian side has also completed the same trials. Operations of freight trains will begin between the two countries once this point is open, and it will expedite tradings. People of this neighborhood will see a socio-economic progress if passenger trains start running on the route. The Cabinet has directed authorities concerned of public and private organizations not to provide any kind of service if people do not wear masks. People of all walks of life have welcomed the decision of a no mask, no service policy of the government to reduce spread of corona across the country. Under the no mask, no service policy, the government and private offices will not serve anyone who is not wearing a mask. Private offices will also come under inspection to make sure that the policy is being pursued. The physician stressed the need for making people aware of the necessity of masks, suggesting that the government should provide masks to the people if necessary. 23 COVID-19 patients died in the country in the last 24 hours, increasing the death toll from the pandemic to 5,861. The recovery count rose to 319,733 after another 1,610 recovered during the period. A press release of the Directorate General of the Health Services said today. It said the tally of infections has surged to 4,03,079 with 1,493 new cases being confirmed. Now, international news. Europe's daily COVID death rose by nearly 40% compared with the previous week. The World Health Organization spokeswoman Dr. Margaret Harris said France, Spain and the UK and the Netherlands and Russia accounted for the majority of cases, which increased by a third. The concern is that intensive care units in hospitals are now beginning to fill with very ill people, she warned. Russia reported a daily record of 320 deaths. In Belgium, doctors have been asked to keep working even if they have the virus because the health system is in danger of being overwhelmed. Meanwhile, COVID-19 global death toll now 11,74,000 with more than 4,44,12,000 people infected. On the other hand, more than 3,25,46,000 people have recovered so far. The USA has reported 1,040, India 519, Brazil 530 and France 523 deaths yesterday. Democratic White House challenger Joe Biden blasted President Donald Trump as a conman during a campaign foray into traditional Republican territory. In Georgia, Biden said that Trump's handling of coronavirus amounted to a capitulation. Trump kept blitzing the swing states that he won in 2016, warning in Michigan that its economic survival was on the line if Biden won. According to opinion polls, Trump lags behind a week to go. But the race is tighter in critical battleground states such as Arizona, Florida and North Carolina. More than 69 million people have already voted early by post or in person in a record-breaking surge driven mainly by the coronavirus pandemic. Air communication between Bangladesh and India resumes today under an air bubble agreement after a 7-month suspension due to COVID-19 pandemic. On the first day of the resumption of the air communication with India, US Bangla Airlines operated one flight each on the Dhaka, Kolkata, Dhaka and Dhaka, Chennai, Dhaka routes. The national flag carrier Biman Bangladesh Airlines will resume regular passenger flights to India from tomorrow. Biman will operate flights on the Dhaka-Delhi-Dhaka route tomorrow. Besides, this Biman will also operate flights Dhaka-Kolkata-Dhaka route from November 1 and Dhaka-Chennai-Dhaka route from November 15. Land Minister Saifuzzaman Chaudhry said that land development tax can be paid from anywhere in the world by the online land development tax management system. He came up with the remarks while speaking as the chief guest at the online-based Land Development Tax Management Software Piloting Phase 1 program inaugural function in the Secretariat today. Senior officials of the Ministry of Land and Land Reforms Board were also present at the inaugural program, with Land Reforms Board Chairman Mohammad Yaqub Ali Patwari in the chair. The Land Minister said that the land development tax collection system has been digitalized in following the prevailing rules and regulations in order to provide harassment-free services to a large number of land service recipients at low cost in a short time as part of the digital Bangladesh. He said almost 3 crore and 60 lakh people of the country involved in paying land tax will be directly benefited from this service. Now news on sports. The one-year suspension of Bangladeshi star cricketer Shakib Al Hasan is set to end today. With the ban coming to an end, Shakib will once be allowed to appear in both international and domestic cricket and will be available for selection from tomorrow onwards. Shakib is set to return to cricket with the T20 tournament arranged by the Bangladesh Cricket Board BCB set to start from November 15. The ace all-rounder was given the ban by the ICC for failing to inform them of multiple approaches from an Indian bookie. The ban, initially set for 2 years if the left arm off spinner hadn't accepted the offence, was cut in half to 1 as he accepted all the charges. To end the bulletin headlines once again. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina asks army personnel to stay united and be prepared to defend country's constitution and sovereignty under any circumstances. Prime Minister urges private banks to supplement government's low-interest credit program for small traders affected by corona pandemic. BRTC to have 10% women drivers and conductors for women and school bus services, informs Abadul Qadir. Haldiwari Chilahati rail communication between Bangladesh and India to resume in December. Government's no mask, no service policy gains public support as government and private organizations to deny service to people not wearing masks. Bangladesh-India air travel resumes after 7-month suspension for corona. Europe sees 40% rise in daily corona contraction rate as the world counts more than 7,000 deaths in a single day. And ace cricketer Shakib Al Hasan returning to game tomorrow after 1-year ICC ban. That's all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you for staying with us, and we invite you to watch our next bulletin.